Okay, so it's a beautiful spring day in Flagstaff. Snow, slush actually is kind of the name of the game today. But I have something that I want to, chat about. So let's get into the studio real quick. Okay, lights. Yes, good, and then less lights. There. That probably looks like the studio you know and love. We're gonna move these from last week's video in the bag. Should I do a what's in my camera bag video? Camera, coffee. That's it. Ta-da! Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about today. And we'll start with words from me, your sponsor. So one of the things I've been struggling with shooting 35 millimeter sort of all year, really, and even before I started this year, was what's the point of shooting 35 millimeter film when I could just shoot digital for like 1/1000th the cost? Why? What does it matter? Like, why would I bother shooting film and then developing the film and then scanning the film and then editing that when I could skip all those intermediate steps? And sometimes there's a feel, and sometimes I can pinpoint it. I can be like, oh yeah, I'm glad I shot that on film. And when I'm shooting medium format or large format, it's really easy. Like, that's not even fair to digital, right? Even the digital medium format cameras, it's not even close, right? Film just has that look. But with 35 millimeter, man, I wasn't sure. And then I discovered this book by Todd, who is a fine art photographer or whatever, photographer, and took 6 months off to process his life a little bit and photograph like motorcycle culture and his road trip across the United States on a chopper. And somewhere in this book is a spread where he's got a digital photo on one side and a film photo on the other side. And it clicked for me as I was reading through this book, which I read in one sitting. You know, it's not like huge, but it's big enough. And it was like, oh, right. That's why you shoot film. You get the grain, you get the, I don't know what the word is, but going through this book, we won't do the whole thing. Also, like, frickin', this is all he took with him on his trip. Great cover. Or jacket, or whatever the shit that's called. So it's mostly black and white. It might all be black and white, actually. And he shot it on a mix of digital and film. And you can tell the film shots, focus, because of the grain, right? He's shooting like HP5 or like a reasonably high grain film stock. Also, like, damn, what a great shot. But the grain shows up in his film stuff, and it does not show up in the digital images. They just behave differently. Like, here is what I suspect is a digital image. Hilarious image, but the grain's not the same in the sky. And he talks about how he brought his Nikon F3 and shot on that, and he shot on some sort of digital camera also. I don't know. That one's probably digital, just looking at it. And then looking at the sky there, like if you look at the texture on both images, chunky, grainy, it's too smooth. There's no grain structure. And you get a feeling, even though they're both shot in a similar way on similar lenses, there's a feeling to the film shots. That's what I'm trying to get across, is that reading this book And looking at spreads like the one we just saw, where there's digital and film side by side, it's like, I get it now. I can shoot on film, specifically black and white, specifically pushed a couple of stops to get that oomph out of it. And that's why. It's because you can't replicate that with digital files. It's just not the same. It doesn't hurt that vintage glass also does really cool things to photos. Sorry, now I'm just like looking through the book because it's cool. Where the modern lenses that we have on our modern digital cameras are maybe too sharp, too perfect, too well designed. And the old lenses didn't have that. You know, they've got more character to them. So this book, for me, solidified that. And I really love the way that he put this together. You've got spreads where he's kind of shooting portraits of all the people he's hanging out with. You've got these big, beautiful film photos. Look at the green. And then you've got kind of a mix of everything in between. Like those are probably digital. So good. Just unreal. So something that I've been struggling with that now I don't have to struggle with anymore. And maybe if you've been struggling with the, say, prices of film, because everyone's raising their film prices, or the process and how slow it is even when you're shooting standard 35 millimeter, I don't know, maybe this helps. I highly recommend this book. It's so freaking good. Even if you're not into motorcycles, like his portrait work, stellar, and the storytelling is really good also. It's like $40. You can pick one of these up at places where you pick up books. If I can find a link, I'll put it in the description down below. There's the Isbin. Give me that. Focus. There you go. Just in case you need it. But damn, incredible book. Beautiful photography. I'm super about it. I have to go scan this week's film run, and then maybe I'll take some film photos myself. Seems like a good idea. Anyway, see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me for this impromptu rant of me figuring out my life. See you in the next one.